You are watching The Roar Live. We want to hear from you right there on the Roar call-in line. Scan that QR code, and guess what? We have one of our favorite callers calling in from East Vale, California. Joey, how are you, my friend? Lions 52-14. What did you think about that, Joe?
It was a special teams game for sure. Right? They got a chance to take over the game in the second half, and after a shaky start, defensively anyway, they were able to take over the game and put some points on the board and create a point spread that Tennessee just really weren't going to be able to match.
I want you to answer this question for me. Do you think Jamison Williams' off-field issues are gonna cause the Lions grief throughout the season? Maybe next year? Okay.
Not really. I think it might cause the kid his own issues with contracts and being able to play in the NFL if he continues down that kind of path with scrapes with the law or with the rules of the game. But like Charles was saying, it's up to him to really decide how he wants to go. He seemed to handle it like a man. He took responsibility for his actions, and he accepted his punishment, and seemed to want to move on. But it's all about it's more about what you do than what you say. So if he actually can stay away from doing dumb things or getting caught up with the dumb things, then you never know what could happen with him. But as far as it affects the Lions, I don't think so. They have so many weapons on their team and so many weapons offensively. They're going to be okay without him. But he is a threat when he is on the field. So can they go on without him? Yeah. But I'd rather have him than not have him. And I'd rather have him than have some other team have him. So,
Joe, who would be your Lions player of the game?
You know what? Early, I have two of them. Early on, I think it was Montgomery. He set the tone offensively, and he seemed to be playing with a chip on his shoulder when he got the ball from last week's fumble, and he was just pounding that line early on, and he made the difference early in the game. And then with that pass, he threw a bullet to Laporta and or to Wright, whoever that was. It was a real nice throw, from a running back. So I give him the player of the game. Khalif Raymond also, in the second half, he pretty much took over when we've seen the Lions just kind of, let up off the gas during the season. We've seen it happen in the second half. He took it to him and got a couple big run backs and a couple of big plays. So, Khalif Raymond is he's the second player of the game.
I'm going to pose this question to all three of you because this is something I wanted to talk about today. Was it kind of disturbing to see how the Lions' defensive line played today? To me, granted it was a 52-14 victory, but I think that the defensive line needs to step up a little more. Am I crazy to think that pass rush needs to? They played a mediocre quarterback in Mason Rudolph, but they still didn't really pressure the Titans on that defensive line. What did you think, Joe?
Yeah, there's no doubt. They were unable to put any serious pressure on the passer, pretty much all day long. And that, and they also gave up some runs up the middle, which was a little concerning. I was expecting to see them stand up. And, I tell you, we lost Malcolm Rodriguez early in the game, dude. And that seemed to make a big difference up the middle. I was really disappointed with the way that the defensive backfield played today. I just thought that they played soft all day long. Until they got a couple big plays with the interceptions, but they were just they let that Rudolph look like he was an All-Pro. and it was a little disappointing to see that. But we're just so strong offensively and have so many weapons of people that will go take the ball and run it down the field and get points. It just we were just too strong overall, for Tennessee.
Joe, I don't know if you had a chance to see the Lions trivia question today. Who holds the most sacks in a season for the Detroit Lions? Is it Ndamukong Suh, Ziggy Ansah, Bill Gay, Aiden Hutchinson, or Robert Porcher? You got a answer on that? A quick answer?
Man, I have no idea, but I would say Robert Porcher.
Okay. We will find out towards the end of the show who that what the answer to that question is. Joe, thanks for tuning in with us again. We love it when you call in. A lot of good insight, and hope to see you next week.
All right, boss. You guys take care out there. Hope it's not getting too cold. It's nice and sunny and warm out here in California. So
and sorry that your Michigan State Spartans lost.
Yeah. What's that?
We're sorry that your Michigan State Spartans lost this week.
Oh my God! They should have beat Michigan, man. They were killing them in the first half. It was just taking it to them, and we let them back in the game. We let them back in the game. It's a little bit disappointing. I'm not. Our quarterback is he's a gifted athlete, but I don't know, man. He's not maturing very quickly. So, he gave up some big plays, man. We had a first half lead that we allowed to slip away, and then just could not seem to run the ball like we did in the first half, in the second half. So that was a big part of the game. So you got to give a little bit of credit to Michigan. They didn't just lay down. Not that they would at the Big House, but we had them. We had a chance to win it. We blew it. So
Joe, I was at the Michigan State-Iowa game last week, and Childs played very, very well, I thought.
Yeah.
And I watched that game and then the Michigan game, and I thought the big difference was, and Iowa's always renowned for their defenses, right? I thought Michigan was way more physical, and that took a toll. That was what I thought. Iowa, I just didn't see him playing that physical against State, but Childs played great. And I'm with Corey over here. I'm a Michigan man, but I'll say this: I think he's going to be a really good college quarterback before this is all said and done.
Could be.
I think so.
I hope you're right.
I think they're on the right track there with Smith and the program they're running. And this comes from a Michigan guy. So
I agree 100%. I'm glad to see them back on track after some rough years there, a couple of years after D'Antonio. But
they got to stop. They got to stop those penalties. They got to figure out how to get that under control.
Tell me about it.
That's been an ages-long problem.
Yep, for sure.
Thanks, Joe.